What up, fam? How's it going? I love that the first message that showed up on the side is, or this side, is Keebs is greater than coding. I get it. Hello, friends. Wow, so many here to boogie. I hope y'all have had a good day so far. Headphones are a little wonky today. Wow. Hello. Hello. What music was that? It was something that I got called like upbeat fun or something from some site that sold royalty free music, so it is not anything super fancy. Hello, Lamara Gerger. Thank you for the camera. Yeah, it makes me very like, oh my gosh, it makes me really think, maybe I should wear makeup and stuff. Because it's very like, look at that. It can focus on my hand and then back and stuff. And I feel like I can see every flaw, but It's a Sony A6100. It's fun. Yeah. From Argentina. Wow. Drink some mate for me. Jumberly. You, does Joe know how to stay out of the shot? No. He specifically said, I'm going to troll you a lot. But he's not in the room now, so I've got that going for me. What lens am I using? Looks crispy. It is a potato chip. Actually, what is this lens? It's something that my husband Joe uses for like actual photography stuff, and I stole it from him. I think it's a Sigma 30mm or something. That's nice. From Spain. Oh my gosh, I miss Spain. Who said mate? I was supposed to be in Spain right now, actually, if it weren't for the virus. I was going to be speaking in Barcelona, and man, I'm sad that I couldn't be in Spain right now. I used to live in Cáceres, and I loved it. Oh my gosh, I miss it. So I'll come back. The rain in Spain, mainly in his plane. Hey. Hello from France. Do I speak Spanish? I do speak Spanish. I'm not that good because, like, I didn't get to... Oh no, hello from Florida. You are doomed there. I'm sorry, David. Goodbye. But anyway, yeah, I speak conversationally, and it's one of those things where, like, my grandparents speak Spanish, but then they didn't teach my parents or me, and so, like, I didn't learn that my grandparents spoke Spanish, like, fluently until I came back from Spain from living there, and then I was speaking with them, and all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, we're speaking in Spanish for the first time in my entire life. What is this? And yeah, it is weird. What type of accent do I have? It's a very lispy one. Lispy. Gracias, hasta luego. Like, it's better or worse than Korean. I do not speak Korean. I have, like, individual words in Korean. I have some, like, puns that I made in Korean on Post-it somewhere. I mostly just spam them to Joe because he gets mad and it's funny. From Brazil! Obrigado, thanks for coming. What keyboard am I using? Let's get into it. I'm using my quiet one again. Because if I did type on a really loud one during this, you would not hear me speak. Which, I mean, that could be a good thing, depending on what you want from this. But, yeah, no, I'm not doing a loud one on the stream. Your dad was like that. He spoke Spanish and didn't teach me or my siblings. Yeah, that's... I don't know what it is. I wish they taught me, but what can we do? You just started Korean and Duolingo. It is tricky. The reading it, I'm actually fairly decent at reading it because it's so phonetic, but like the grammar is so difficult. I am not good at the grammar. Am I interested in conversational AI, Alexa, Google Assistant, Bixby and stuff? I mean, I used to work on Alexa. I'm trying to say that quietly because mine will turn on. But yeah, I think it's cool. Have I ever made an IQ test? No, I have not. I feel like I'm not qualified to assess someone's IQ, besides being like, you're dumb. So I don't think that would work very well. pie time, pie time, pie. It's not pie time. It's 12:38, at least here. I don't know where it is, wherever you are. Gotta be on 3:14 for that. Today, we are going to be working on our Pokemon game again. I very purposely try not to touch it up or touch it at all, so all of the development on it can be on this stream in public, so you can all play with it. Are you going to add some of the routes examples you alluded to in my next Netlify post? I could. Right now, I just kind of want to get it to work, and then... Right now, everything is very, very local, but I could maybe make it SSRE or something, perhaps. Have I ever taken an IQ test? Yes, but it was like years ago. I have an IQ higher than 50, so watch out, folks. That happened with Arabic. You could read and write, but no clue what it said. Yeah, those languages, it's grammar. Grammar's hard. Am I a friend of Topre keys? This keyboard that I'm typing on is my only Topre board. I do really like them. I've played with like the heavy domes and stuff that I think Keyclack sold back in the day, but those were gone. Like you can't get them anymore, so they're fun. Did I fix my camera overheating? We'll find out, won't we? I think I might have. We'll find out. I've been just like poking around with the settings and stuff, so we'll see. Do I like Angular? Angular's nice. I personally prefer React, which is why I write in it. I would probably, if I couldn't do React, I would do Vue, and then maybe Angular after that. Honestly, probably vanilla JS after that, and then maybe Angular. I'm not the biggest fan, but it gets the job done, and some teams really like it. What is the architecture of the Pokemon game? Don't send Bitcoin to that address. Blah, blah, blah. I was thinking about copying one of those hacked Twitter account things and putting just like an actual Bitcoin wallet and be just like, I wonder who'll send me stuff, but I didn't want to be mean. I saw the streaming platform ad featuring you the other day. Someone was featuring me? Cool. I don't know what the story is behind being featured, but I'll take it. Thoughts on Svelte? Svelte is... I haven't used it yet. It seems cool. I plan on doing it. It's in like that queue of things. Wow, hello from Russia. Hello from Seattle. That's so cool. But yeah, Svelte seems cool, and it's definitely growing a lot, but it's still like a very baby framework, so we'll see if it grows. Thanks for following. What is the architecture of the Pokemon game? From Amsterdam too. Wow. Do I miss working at React Training? I do. I really, really liked teaching. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I love working at Netlify. Netlify is a very, very cool place to work, and the team is awesome. But I also really loved teaching full-time. So maybe someday I'll teach full-time again. This will have to do for now, because this is teaching, right? Wow, Cape Town, South Africa. Wow. Switzerland. My name's not Fred. So for the context on the Fred thing that Jonesy is talking about, yesterday when the chaos was happening on Twitter, I couldn't tweet because I have a verified account. And so my sister was just like, I own you now. And she tweeted at me and was just joking around, and I couldn't reply. And then she got on my Patreon Discord, which if you'd like to join on Patreon, it's patreon.com/Cassadoo. She jumped on our Discord and was just like, this is my Discord now. And she like made all these new rules, and my name was Fred, and it was silly. Where's my Portuguese scarf? I think it's right here, actually. Portugal! Yeah! It's actually kind of amazing that I had it that handy. From Mexico, wow. Stockholm, Norway? Oh, Oslo. I've always wanted to visit Oslo. From London. Everyone's all over the place. Is Netlify hiring? Yes. They're hiring back-end engineers mostly right now. I think they're going to be adding front-end roles at some point, but not yet. Oakland, California. Wow. Do you think we'll still use React in 10 years? That's a good question. I think React is making a lot of good strides to be future proof. I think we will have Scotland. Wow. I think we will have a lot of opportunities to learn enough from React where we'll either be using it and it's going to be in use. And I mean, let's be real, companies are still using COBOL, so in a way, yes. I think a lot of libraries will be going towards a more generic way of coding so that you can use whatever framework you want. That's my guess is what will happen. Oh, there's so much chat. This is so fun. I love the amount of people I've seen use this platform to teach and grow. Yeah, I love teaching, and I love that teaching is kind of popular now in tech too, because it's great. And when there's more teachers, there's more cool things to poke around with. Who's my Pokemon Dream Team? Ooh, I don't know. I've been really into Machamp lately. Machamp has been... I play Pokemon Go, and every single battle, if I have Machamp in there, I do well, but that's because I have some speedy moves on there. Does Facebook's involvement in React concern you versus something like Vue that doesn't have a megacorp backing it? I think it did, but that being said, I literally had a call with... I can't go into details. I had a call with a person on the React core team today to talk about things. And they really want to be less about being owned by Facebook and more about owned by the community, and Facebook just happens to contribute a lot to it. And so I am not as concerned as I probably should be, but overall I am not that concerned by it. Also, 1 second, my sister is pinging me asking what I'm up to, and I'm going to say I'm streaming. Maybe she'll join the chat. Join my stream. Cool, we'll see if they come. Or if my sister comes. You know me from Twitter. I love my Twitter. From Kuwait. Wow, hello. Have I tried Flutter? I haven't, but I did see that CodePen just added the ability to use Flutter natively on the site, and so I kind of want to poke around with it just because it's so easy now. What are my thoughts on data structures and algorithms? I don't know how to answer that question because they are a core part of computer science. Data structures and algorithms are necessary to know at times. How about that? Okay, so I told my sister to join my stream, and she said, be careful what you ask for. Oh no. So we'll see what she says. Favorite mechanical keyboard? Oh, that's like asking me which one of my babies is my favorite. I admit, this one is kind of near and dear to my heart. I love this one. This one took me so long to build and like come upon because there's so many unique parts to it. So the actual caps themselves, most of them are from SA Oblivion, the monocolor. The Numro I actually got from a ton of different grab bags and stuff. And it took me quite a while to source the entire Numro, because if you wanted to get this Numro, it's from SA Round 5, and that can cost a lot of money, because that's some original older caps. And then, oh, Cammy's here, hey! That's C Willie CS, that's my sister. And then the board itself, I actually got this case and the PCB in Korea when I was visiting in-laws there, and traveled with it and stuff. And I love this board because it's so nice and easy to program and use, and it's really heavy. I think it's like 5 pounds. It's a really, really heavy board. And then the switches underneath are Xilinx switches, and so I really like Xilinx. So anyway, I love this board. It's so pretty, and it's thick. It's really, really, it's really heavy. Okay, I'm gonna put this back. Sorry about all the mess behind me, by the way. Let's see. React without Facebook will be the definitive framework. We'll see about that. I don't know. What's my top tip for dev team management? Don't be arrogant. Like that. I think that's the biggest thing, because I used to manage a team before. A couple years ago I managed a team of 6 developers or so, and The key for managing for me was realizing like I am not better than any of these people at development or at anything. I just have a different kind of role on that team. And so I was the person in between them and corporate. And so if my team needed something, like let's just say a team member said, I really want to get better at iOS development, it was my job to figure out how can I improve this person's skills? How can I get them on projects that improve that? How can I get them courses that can do that? I think a lot of things that happen when it comes to bad managers is a result of managers thinking that something isn't their problem because they're not on that team or something. Wow, so much chat. Your fiance is obsessed with me. Wow. Hello from Egypt. Hello. How do we start contributing to the React community? I mean, to the open source projects. It's intimidating. It is intimidating. This is what you really, really, really should do. And it sounds boring, but it's genuinely the most helpful thing. Help triage issues. If you literally go through the GitHub issues and say, okay, how can I make sure that this actually is a bug or it's not really a bug? How can I add labels and stuff to help? That is the biggest problem in open source, and everyone avoids it because they're just like, oh, I would rather code. That's what I do. Triaging issues is a very quick way to be involved in a project, and it's really, really helpful. Otherwise, if you just start jumping in with code, then people might be like, who is this? How do we know their code is good? Why did they take this issue that someone else was working on? You know, that sort of thing. And so triaging issues is a good way to kind of say, this is who I am, this is me, I'm helping, and then you can get more involved and more people can start leaning on you for help, and you gain trust and stuff. Why aren't I pressing buttons on the keyboards? Did you want to see buttons on the other thing? What's the best thing about working at Netlify? The people. It's nice and quiet. Do you hear that? So great. Yeah, the people at Netlify are amazing. What I like about them in particular is that they have a good sense of humor. And so when I get to, for example, take over the Twitter account, they're all just like, go, do whatever you want. And I'm like, I will. And it's great. I really like them. Can we code the corona away? I wish we could. Let's see. Well said, management is just a different track, for sure. How do you know you're pursuing the right path in your career? Wait, triage? I thought it was triage. Triage? Am I pronouncing triaging issues? I don't know. Anyway, how do you know you're pursuing the right path in your career? You just kind of try it until you generally like it. I think some people pursue careers for a lot of different things. Everybody's typing the different triage. I don't know what I'm doing. You know, it's one of those things that I just like read and rarely say, and so I don't know what's right. Thanks for liking my headphones. Professionally, I'm a digital and graphic designer, and I've been wanting to learn code, but at the surface it looks intimidating. Don't be intimidated. Well, actually, this is a really good way for me to talk about our sponsor, because, I mean, it's sponsor. I recently launched a course on Scrimba, and if you go to scrimba.com, they're great, and they have a really nice front-end developer career path that teaches you from the ground up, and so that's a good way to get started. I think they're great. There's so many resources now for learning how to code. I'm like both jealous and not jealous of the people trying to learn how to code right now, because when I was learning, it was just like viewing the source of websites and trying to figure it out, maybe trying it on Neopets and then kind of going with it. But now there's so many online classes and resources and tutorials and stuff. It is great. What even is speaking? We type now. By the way, I see someone was sad that I missed their question. The chat is moving fast. Just keep asking. We'll be fine. Do you think there's ever a point in your life where Twitch chat is telling you how to pronounce triage? I don't know how to pronounce this now. Should I Google it? I'm going to Google it really quick. 1 second. How to pronounce triage. Oh wait, there's a thing. Whoa, that's cool. Google has a thing where it'll like test you on how you pronounce it. So it is triage. Wow, I've been saying it wrong my entire life. My bad. Oops. You made your first custom progress bar component. That's cool. Let's see. Oh, you liked my course. Thank you so much. Oh, clear instructions during the challenges. An exception. If you could tell me which challenges were harder for you to understand, let me know. I'd love to learn that. Oh, it comes from the French trier morning to sort. That makes sense. What is the role of design patterns in software design? It's confusing. It's really just like define a pattern so that way everybody uses it, so you don't have like 10 ways of doing one thing. It makes things a lot more maintainable over time. I miss the days of being able to read the website source and it being understandable. I know, websites are hard. I've been doing the crossword. Why was there no notification for this? Man, everyone's doing the crossword lately. That makes me so happy. I did the mini today in 37 seconds, but I haven't done the legit one. Do I use any keyboard modifications? Technically, yes, because I built all of them, so it's all modified, but it's up to you. What's Neopets? Yo, Neopets was the bomb. I think it still exists. Perhaps that's what we can do today. Let's see. How did you get into making keyboards? I wanted to have my desk look cool, and then I realized there was a whole world of keyboard people. And then I moved to Seattle, where the keyboard people are into keyboards, and they sucked me in, and that is how I got into building it. I was able to get through all the challenges. It felt like it would have been better if I wrote them out in a comment block. Like the instructions. I did it in some of them, but yeah, I get that. What courses did I launch? I launched a reusable React course, so it's just building reusable React components and best practices around that. And then I also released a React technical interview questions course as well. Neopets was so great. Did you try and like lower level languages than JavaScript? I've done assembly, I've done Java, C, C++. I mean, I majored in computer science in college, so that was all those low level things. And when I first had my first job, I was a backend engineer doing Python, and then I got to switch to the web team, and I liked it so much more, and so that's what kind of got me into doing JavaScript, and I haven't really looked back. Oh, your 7-year-old daughter is watching. Hi. When did I start? I started when I was 13, but hey, you can start earlier. There's so many resources. What crosswords are y'all doing? I'm doing the New York Times one. I don't know about others. Oh, thank you for telling me I'm good at explaining things. I try. From Bellingham. Oh, hey, Bellingham's close by. What do I think about TypeScript? It's fine. TypeScript is great for a lot of really big teams. I think for a lot of smaller projects, it's unnecessary. But, you know, it's might be what you want. I don't mind TypeScript. I just choose not to write it if I don't have to. Hello, Anna. By keyboard modifications, I mean like hyper keys. Oh yeah, so I have different layers and stuff. Like this board, for example, I have my arrow keys on HKJL, and then this function key makes it so like M is for mute, and then these two are for volume up and volume down. I have just like a few basic macros thrown in there. JADE, Jade, she followed me. Hello, at last. Do I share ideas of what I want to build publicly? Or do I have a private notepad? I have both. Do you want me to show you my pure gold ideas note? I can. I have a note of pure gold ideas, so we'll see how it goes. Let's see. It's perfect for me. How you Casa doing? I'm doing good. Oh, so many things. Can I move you to the Lifetime Pro plan on Netlify? I don't have that power. I'm sorry. Web dev these days seems harder, like a decade ago, and everything needed to get started. Do you think it's just an interim state, or this is the way it's headed? I think there's a lot of overkill in web dev. You can still do a plain HTML, CSS, and JavaScript set of files for your website. Like my personal website, I didn't use any frameworks. I did just a regular HTML document. I added some JavaScript and I added some CSS. If you want to do more advanced things, you can, and there's a lot of tools out there, and that's where it starts to get complex. But if you want to do the basic stuff, you can do that too. How deep have I gotten into the headphone world? Not that deep. I actually do have a weirdly large amount of headphones for how not deep I am into the headphone world, but not everything needs to be an SPA. Yeah, not everything needs to be a single page application. You can do a set of HTML files, you can do a static site generator, and you can still make very complex things. Do I think animals will be able to code one day? Who knows? Okay, I'm pulling up my ideas. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, I was thinking a Netlify build plugin generator would be cool. Let's be real, a lot of my pure gold ideas are puns. And so like, oh, you can't see. Oh, it's so secret. So like a train with crazy ideas is a locomotive. And barber boxers are boxers made for barbers endorsed by Barbara Boxer. You never know. If you cry by the fire, a fireplace becomes a crier place. Then I have like dumb things like Tim and Buck are best friends. They're to Tim Buck too. So anyway, my ideas are not exactly the most incredible ones, but there's some like apps and stuff in there. My sister keeps calling me, but she's watching the stream. I'm not gonna pick up, Cammy. You can DM me if you want. Oh, she's just messaging me about how I pronounced triage wrong. All these people in my family trying to interrupt me. How does a brain produce such things? Who knows? Have I played with WebGL and React 3 Fiber? I've tried to play with WebGL. OpenGL and WebGL are concepts that for some reason I cannot get in my brain well enough. So I'm trying to get there, but you know. Any advice on how I can get over my job hunting anxiety? Just apply. Literally just apply to all the jobs, and if anything, think of each job as like, this is a practice run. If I don't get it, it's okay, because it's practice, and then you might get a job. I think confidence is a very big key in interviews. Interviewing is a whole separate skill from technical skills, and it's annoying because I think tech hiring is broken for that reason, but Cammy, I've got to knock on her door in 10 minutes. No, stop calling me. Do I want to get Starbucks? No, I've got some chai tea right here. In a wine glass, because classy. Please don't come to my house. My sister lives like 5 minutes away. Let's see. I'm glad you all liked my puns. I assume you all loved them. Hello, friends. All the jobs I got were from practice interviews. Yeah, like, sometimes there have been jobs where I'm just like, I'll just do this, probably won't get the job, I'm happy where I am, and then I get a role that's awesome. And so you never know. Is this a homemade chai blend? No, I'm not fancy. It is chai that I got at a store, and then I added milk to it, because I wanted a chai latte. Is React the way to go for a front-end web dev? So, I don't think so. I think there's a lot of room for Vue, there's a lot of room for React and stuff, but React is the most popular. Let's be honest, that's it. There are things that are better in Vue, there are things that are better in Angular, there are things that are better in Svelte, but React is the most popular. So for jobs, you were more likely to get hired with React because of that alone. I got fired. If you got fired 4 times from a software engineering job, would I try to move and learn something else? Probably. I guess it depends on what I like to do and what I can afford to do. What is the best career fulfillment advice you can give to this group? It's just a job. I think a lot of people attach their identities and attach their purposes to their jobs, and you shouldn't, because it's just a job. You have a life outside of work, even if you don't act like it because you work too much. And a lot of people think you have to be passionate to be in engineering. It's just a job. It's a paycheck. If anything, your work is the thing that lets you afford to do what you want to do. Whether it's continue to code for fun or do something musical, do something artsy, watch Netflix all day. Your job is your job. It's not your life. And so whenever I see all these things of being just like, I only hire devs that are passionate, that is dumb, because passion ebbs and flows. I love coding, but this isn't something that, like, I'm gonna be just like, this is everything for me. It's just something that I enjoy doing. Not everybody enjoys coding, they just work in coding. And so if you want to be fulfilled in your career, don't expect your career to be the only thing that fulfills you. And that is the best advice I can give. Cool. Well, let's see. There are so many questions. Wow. If you know React, can you only be a web dev? No, you could be a mobile dev too. React Native is a thing. You want to be a full stack web developer? Learn some backend stuff. Node is a good place to start because it's JavaScript. Your resume only has retail work experience and you've never freelanced. Should I get a few freelance jobs before applying? It could help. I think it kind of depends. This is where networking comes into play, and learning in public and showing your code. I've known some junior devs get a role just because they were really active on Twitter and someone gave them a chance. And then I know other junior devs who decided to get some internships and freelance a little bit before getting a full-time job, and that's how they were able to get it. Piece of advice for starting a YouTube channel from scratch: start very simple and don't overthink it, and then you can always add on, because otherwise you will spend too much time thinking about your plan. Let's see. How many hours a week do I dedicate to programming outside of work? Depends on the week. Sometimes it's like 10 or 20, sometimes it's a half hour. It really, really depends on the week. Let's see. You wanted to become a full stack developer. Oh, I already answered that. I've seen some of your talks in a podcast with you. You're inspirational. Thanks. Someone actually, Steven, I don't know if he's watching the stream now, but he wrote in Discord, or he's on my Patreon Discord. He got a cameo for our Discord with Carol Baskin from Tiger King, and he was saying to like, you're inspirational, and to other people like, you go girl, and it was very funny seeing Carol Baskin saying all of those things. And everyone was just like, she totally murdered her husband. So it's pretty funny. Thank you for loving my videos. Oh, I'm glad that you liked the hiring thread. I hope it's useful for people. Do I have a digital garden? That's one of those private journals, right? So I do have a journal thing where it lets me email myself every day. And I really like doing that. And I don't always do it every single day, but it's useful. But otherwise, I just have like a notepad. I use Bear on my phone. I like Bear, but it's only Apple only, and I am on my PC right now, so pros and cons of that. I wish it were webby. Do you think delivering talks help in getting a job? Sometimes. That's the long and the short of it. More devs than you think don't give talks. Very few people give talks, and it's because they generally like it. I really like to give talks, and that's why I do it, because I think it's a good way to interact with people. As a more introverted person, it's great to do that. Let's see. Yeah, you can get Chevy Chase. That's so funny. How do you play an extra in my short films? I can come up with something. We'll see. Advice for UX folks to work with devs more efficiently? That is difficult. I would say, so for UX specifically, one of the UX person at Netlify, she's awesome. We have a UX researcher, and she includes us in her user research studies, and she's really good at communicating her user research stuff. And I think that is the best. I love it when she does her user research studies, because it's useful for us to figure out how to work better. Let's see. Favorite Lego theme? Oh, that is hard. I have Oh man, I made a Lego Bugatti and I really love that one. I also really like the Lego Architecture Frank Lloyd Wright ones, but those ones are kind of like grown-up Legos. Growing up, I really just liked the Spy ones. My sister and I played that non-stop, where we could make like boats and everything. I loved the Spy ones. Can I share some advice for coding interviews? Talk a lot. Whenever I do some kind of in-person interview or technical interview or something, and they ask me a technical question, before coding anything or writing anything on the whiteboard, I explain exactly what my thought process is going to be. And then after doing all of that, that's when I start writing on the board, because then I'm on the same page. Because first of all, as you're talking it out, you might encounter bugs in your approach just in your brain, and then you're like, oh wait, I shouldn't actually do that because then I might run into this. So you can kind of talk it out with the recruiter, but then it builds communication, and then also from there you can then say, okay, does that make sense? And then if your interviewer talks back, I've definitely have interviewers where they're just like, I don't know, just go. Those are not great. But the ones who talk where they're just like, yeah, that does make sense, that's a good sign. Then you can write it out after talking it out. And so it's good to kind of get your thought process out. That's probably my biggest advice for a coding interview. Oh, there are so many questions. This is so funny. Why are mountains so funny? Because they're hill areas. That joke has been on my personal website for many years, actually. If I were to start completely from scratch building a following for teaching, how would I start? That's actually how I got active on Twitter, because I was making a course for React back in early 2017, and it was for Udemy, and they were just like, hey, you're cool, you're good at teaching, but nobody follows you, so could you like fix that? And so I ended up just being more active on Twitter, and that's actually how I got started with my technical newsletter that I send out every week, because I was just like, I need to get content out there so people can see what I'm doing. And then after that, that's how I got people to actually sign up for my course when I finally pushed it live at the end of that year. So anyway, that's I would say just get active online and just show in public what you're working on, so that way people can slowly follow you more, and then when you start to teach, you have people who will listen. Oh my goodness, there's so many good questions. Why do we even code? This is so much more fun. Where do I find the time to experiment and play around with new things? Job times, weekends, evenings, 3 a.m.? All of the above. Kind of just depends on the week. There are some weeks where I'm just like, all I want to do is play Fortnite or Civ or something where I can rest my brain. And then there are other weeks where I'm just like, every single day at 5 p.m. I'm done working and I'm doing side projects. It really depends. Let's see. Talks are good. Breathing is good. What language do I personally use in my interviews? It kind of depends. I kind of pseudocode a lot of it, depending on the interview. And then if they want straight syntax, I do JavaScript. If they want something more algorithmy, I actually tend to do Java more often than not. But I haven't done a very algorithm-heavy interview in a little while. Like my Netlify interview, that was technical, but it was a lot more about like talking through projects that I've done before and explaining a lot of different things out and showing that I can communicate well, and luckily a lot of the team knew about my technical skills already because I had interacted with them before, so it was explaining technical choices and everything because it's a more high level role, and then before that my job was teaching, and so it was like teaching technical concepts for my interview. And then the one before that, they literally just said, okay, we want you to implement all of this stuff with React and Redux, go. This was a while ago, so Redux was still a big deal. And I implemented it all async, and then I talked through all my code decisions with them. So the one before that was algorithm-y. So it's been a while since I've done a full algorithm interview. There's so many questions. Is it worth investing some time to implement Prettier in a CI pipeline? Yes. I think it's really useful to have just good rules for everyone to follow for code. What are my favorite keyboard switches? I like Xilinx the most. I think those are great. Favorite dessert? Cheesecake? Key lime pie? Pickles? How do I balance social media, work, and streaming, etc.? It's hard. Honestly, if you look at my account, I don't actually tweet a ton. I just kind of tweet like at strategic times, and that's something that I learned from people. Like if you want to get an information out, like don't be afraid to retweet yourself, and so like post something in the evening and then retweet it in the morning, and then just retweet a lot of other people and reply to people and stuff. You don't have to be crazy active on a platform, just try to be intentional and consistent. Even if it's just, I'm going to tweet once, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that's something. And then you can kind of decide your balance from there. Streaming, I set aside time in my calendar to stream once a week, and that's my plan. And then working 9 to 5, pretty much. Actually, it's more like 8 to 4, but it depends. Let's see. Have I had a chance to read GitHub's blog post with the update on the Arctic Vault? I haven't, but I did see that I got a badge on my profile. I don't know what it means, so I'm just kind of letting it happen. I do like having the badge, though. Hello from Chile, wow. How are tasks difficultly assigned in the jobs that you've had? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Tasks are generally assigned by like a PM or an engineering manager who's triaging things, now that I can pronounce that right. What inspired the chicken standoffs on stage? I thought it'd be funny. For those who don't know about the chicken standoffs, basically you go up to a person with a serious face and you both have to act like a chicken, and the first person to laugh loses. And I convinced my current manager, Sarah Drasner, to do that with me on stage at JSConf Hawaii this past January. Little did I know that that was a job interview. But anyway, I was just like, I think this would be funny. And she said, I'm in. And that's how it happened. Auth0 is following. Whoa. I'm still pronouncing it wrong? I said triage. Google said I was right. How am I pronouncing it wrong? I changed, whatever. Do I ever play games here on Twitch? I was thinking about doing like Fortnite Fridays or something, but I haven't yet. Much love from Uganda. Wow, so far around the world. What is your advice for tackling React with someone who's Laravel never did front end? That's a good question. I think I would start to learn basic front end without React first, understand what the DOM is, and then move into React, if that's the case. Let's see, does it help if I tweet about giving out bitcoins? You know it does. Am I planning on becoming a Twitch partner? I don't know what that means. Triage. I'm saying it right, people. Triage. 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 Triage? I don't know. In the type in game repo is the first Pokemon Charmander. I looked behind me because I have a giant Charmander back there. But I think the first Pokemon is Bulbasaur, number 1. They're being snobs because it's a French word, I'm guessing. How do I pronounce it in French? Triage. Bonjour. Botter. That's all I've got. Triage. Oh my gosh. You're just making... Yeah, I'm never going to get it right. It is fine. So, do y'all want to code or just keep talking? I'm gonna let you decide. Code or talk? Do I stream because I want to improve my personal brand? Or is it a serious alternative income stream? I'm not making money on this. I'm doing this for funsies. I'm not doing it because I want to improve my personal brand or have an alternative income stream. I'm doing it because I think it's a fun way to give back to the dev community, whether it's advice or showing how to make things. It looks like coding is winning. Can I explain environment variables? They're variables that exist, that need to exist, but that you don't commit to Git because you don't want anybody to access it. So it's a variable that your code can access so that way it can run but be secure. If the world was ending and my husband and I were the only 2 people on the planet to save the world, and I can only pick one to do the task, would I pick myself or my husband? To code to save the world? I'd pick myself. And I think he'd pick me too. I guess it depends on the language. If it were Python, he would be better at it, but I think he and I both know that yeah, it would be better. Cool. Well, I think it's time to code, shall we? Let's see if I can... Oh, we'll see if I can get this right. I'm pressing a button. It worked! And also, did you notice how my camera hasn't overheated? It's like I'm a professional. This is wild. Okay, so look at us go. We have things. For those of us who weren't here last time, I'll tell you what this project does. First one, let me run npm run dev to make it show up on the side. I understand networking is important to finding success in the tech industry, but underprivileged people have a lot of trouble meeting people with similar career goals. Yes, I've noticed that a number of my Hispanic peers trying to put their foot in the door in the tech industry find themselves inadequate and overwhelmed. It may be a case of imposter syndrome. That is tough. So first of all, for your Hispanic peers specifically, Latinas in Computing is a great group, and I really like being a part of that group. That being said, networking is very difficult, but we can do it. It's something that you, especially now in a pandemic, people have access to resources that they just did not have access to before, and access to people that they didn't have access to before. And so it's important to do, and it's important to find specific groups that can be a safe space for you to network. For example, again, I've been involved with Latinas in Computing. I always follow the Techaria newsletter. I just saw that Ximena put that in there. I really like Alpha for women in computing. There's Higher Tech Ladies. These ones are smaller ones that are relevant to me, might not be relevant to you, but there's so many smaller groups of people, and it's good to find that small group that you can connect with, and then after that you can get to know people in there, and they might be able to say, hey, you know what is also a good group? Women Who Code, or I don't know, Seattle Coding Club. There's so many different groups that you can connect with. But start with a small group, start with one online first, and then go up from there. If you are sharing URLs, I'm sorry it's blocked and I haven't figured out how to fix that. But, you know, there's also, you can spell it out, something.com. And yeah, you have imposter syndrome, you have pastor syndrome, you spontaneously preach to people. I think also imposter syndrome is not, that's another thing. Imposter syndrome, it's not so much about a syndrome as it is experiences. I think it should be called imposter experiences, because it's not a syndrome that is innate to you that will never go away. It's something that you feel, it's something that you experience, it's something that will happen to you on occasion, but it's not a syndrome that you will be stuck with forever. So I say that so you do not fear that. Let's see, I'm starting to get a bunch of DMs from my boss, so let me just make sure I'm not missing something. Oh, she's just sharing tweets. That's fine. Okay. Anyway, yay! Let's snap. Let's go. Okay. Anyway, let's talk about what we've been doing here. So we have our typing game. In game.js, I have set up, which if you weren't here in previous streams, you can look at previous videos if you wanna check it out. But we have a game reducer, and the game reducer defines all of our different states. And those different states are start game, end game, restart game, typing out the Pokemon, submitting the Pokemon, and then we also have a default for an unrecognized state. Pastor syndrome, because I like tacos al pastor. That is funny. That was a good one. Imposter sensation. Oh, I like that more than experience. It kind of rolls off the tongue better. So anyway, we have our reducer that handles all of those different state changes. I'm going to take a drink really quick. So now that we have that, we have our game states, our scores, and the current Pokemon. The header says this whole like get type and loser thing when we are about to start the game. When we start it, we can type different Pokemon. And look at that, we've got, I don't know why that's showing up. If I click I'm done. Oh, I know why that's showing up. Okay. Sorry, I forget. This is a remnant from the previous stream and I'm remembering now. So when you type a Pokemon, if it's correct, your score goes up by 1. And then if it's incorrect, then it goes down. That Pokemon sprite there was hard-coded, so I'll explain that a little bit. So when you click I'm done, that ends the game, and so the finished state is this score right here. So it has the score, and then you can restart the game if you want. So that is how this works. Hey, Relicine. So the Pokemon banner is the thing that we implemented last time, or we started to implement last time. What it is we got a big set of sprites. And in those sprites, it has all of the sprites of just the original 151 Pokemon, and we set the CSS of this sprite div to, based on the number Pokemon that we put in, it puts that Pokemon in the div. Totally lost my brain for just a second there. Anyway, so we did the default right there for Charmeleon. If I were to do like 140 and then save this and then do that, look at that, we got Kabuto. And so that's how that works. So we get an actual sprite going. The purpose of this Pokemon banner was going to be where whenever someone does type a correct Pokemon, that sprite would show up. And so we could see all of the Pokemon that we have typed so far. Can I remove the chat on the scene so we have more real estate to see the code? Well, this is just covering the console, so it's not really showing anything. I can move this a little bit lower if that's helpful. The chat is helpful for recordings later so people can see why I'm replying a certain way. What is my VS Code theme? I think on this one it's Hack the Box. How do I see what theme I have? Preferences? Color theme? Yeah, Hack the Box is what it's called. Can I recommend some coding standards, kind of like Pep 8 for Python? I just kind of use the prettier defaults. Prettier defaults are pretty decent, and then ESLint has some opinionated ones and stuff too. Okay, now that I'm coding, I'm taking my rings off because otherwise I'll fling them everywhere. Okay, so now that we have these sprites working, instead of having these hard-coded in, what I was thinking we would do is we would get this Poke Array. The Poke Array is going to be the list of Pokemon that we have typed out so far. And in that array, we're going to populate it with a Pokemon sprite with each of those Pokemon that we have used. So JSX and JS files make me sad. Don't be sad. Okay, this is where I'm gonna put on my teacher hat for just a second, because you shouldn't be sad when you see JSX. All JSX is, if I were to do const hello or whatever, is equal to a div and then it says hello like that. All that's happening under the hood, hello 2, is react.create element and with a div. It doesn't have any attributes, so we can just put an empty object and then a string that says hello like this. That's all it is. It's just translating to that. So if you don't like JSX, you don't have to do that to type React. That being said, it's just a template. JSX is not valid JS syntax. It's a template syntax, and so you can add that on top of your JavaScript to make it easier and not a giant list of react.create elements on top of each other. Anyway, I'm very pro JSX. So now that we have this list of Pokemon array, what we need to do is we need to have the list of Pokemon that we have typed so far and pass it to that JSX array. So whenever we submit a Pokemon, we check if the Pokemon array includes action.pokemon. Okay. So on the Pokemon array, I chose to hard code this for now just to get it done. Maybe in a future stream we can ping the Poke API or something. But if you want to see, where is that file? I have a file. Oh yeah, this is just a list of the Pokemon that we're pulling from for now, just to get it done initially. And it's a regular Pokemon array. But I want to now create a new array of all of the Pokemon that we have typed, so that way we can pass it. You know what would be interesting? Maybe we could query an API to get the Pokemon number. That might be interesting. Let's see. If a JS file contains text strings, we don't end with txt. Oh yeah, we're getting into an argument now. It doesn't. Okay, so I want to make a new array that I populate with the numbers, the Pokemon numbers that we pass into here. So what I could do is do the Pokemon names and then query, because I don't have the Pokemon numbers in here, but that's also on purpose because, for example, Farfetch'd, we have 2 entries because of that apostrophe, and with Mr. Mime, we have these 3 options here, so the numbers won't perfectly line up. Hi, Fada Wolf. So we want to get their numbers. I wonder if the Poke API, I wonder if that gives you the number based on the name. I don't actually know. We'll find out. Did I write the names myself? No, I found a list of Pokemon names and plopped it in. Let's see. If a file name does not contain valid JS, the ending should not be JS. Yeah, but if it's transformed to JS in the end, let's see. We have the different forms of Pokemon. Game indices. Is that it? I think that's it. Yeah. Let me try this with Bulbasaur to confirm. Game indices. Wait, what? Okay, I don't know what this game index is. I want to find just the Pokemon number based on that. Oh, is that the ID? ID is 1? Let me see Squirtle to see. Squirtle, the ID of Squirtle is 7. Okay. Okay. I think that's good then. So we just need to get the ID from that. Then yeah, let's query an API. That's fun. Import use effect from React. So for each value, I don't know if you hear that music. That's my husband playing the cave music on a melodica just upstairs as loud as he can. Oh my gosh, Joe. They think you're very funny. It's so stupid.
Go Charmander!
Joe, they didn't even see that. He just threw the Charmander toy at me in the background and he ran away. So, watch out, everyone. I'm married, and that's who I'm stuck with. So, anyway, I'm going to... Wrong game! Oh my gosh! And my sister and our friend Jade came. Oh my gosh. These people.
Cassidy, it's triage.
I said triage.
You said triage.
I said triage initially, but then I fixed myself.
Triage.
I learned.
Cassidy has friends.
Yeah.
We exist.
I'm so annoyed. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
They got me flowers.
Bye.
Bye. Wait, where are you going?
Going
Okay.
out.
Bye. Don't you have jobs? Oh my gosh.
I moved a meeting for this.
You moved a meeting? Go home. There's a pandemic. Well,
Wait, do you want me to get caught?
They're just... Okay, well, now they're all just chatting back there. I don't even remember what we were doing. Yeah, I think that was the definition of a flash mob. Does Cammy wear Crocs? Yes, she does. Did they wash their hands? I sure hope so. Just in case. Oh my gosh. We were talking about the IDs of Pokemon. You're right, Jade is not 6'7". If this is what friends... Yeah, they totally... They came a far way to... Like, my sister lives close by. But our friend Jade does not. They traveled for this, so... Anything for a troll, did not expect that. So anyway, I imported use effect from React, yes. Wow. That was fun. I'm so hot. Oh wow, I have exactly 100 repositories? Who knew? That's kind of fun. So the reason why I'm going through this is because I queried the Poke API in another project, and I was going to copy it so I don't have to reinvent the wheel because I don't feel like typing things out. This. They're just having a party back there. So, oh, and you can't even see my screen anymore because I got distracted. Sorry. Well, now you can see that I got to my GitHub page. Okay. Oh, that was fun. Okay, so, queried the API. Hey, I'm gonna copy this and edit it. Use effect. We're going to put it inside of this Pokemon banner. So, when I get a Pokemon, I want to get this. And I'm going to be querying the Poke API for... Ooh. If I'm going to be querying it for every Pokemon that's passed in, maybe I could do it so that... if I've already typed it before, it's saved. I'm going to work on optimization later. My Twitter verification was my demise. It's true. But with friends like those, it's great. I'm going to say, I'm going to have a use state in here. It was so chaotic, I'm kind of still getting over it. IDs, set IDs. And it's going to be a use state, and it'll be an empty array. Let's see. Okay, yeah, there's like 800 plus Pokemon now. We're just gonna do the first 151 first. So for every Pokemon that we pass in here, we want to query the API and get their ID. Maybe I don't want to do this, especially if I have the... we'll get this figured out later. I figure at some point in the future we'll make it so when someone types a Pokemon, it'll like query the API and verify all of this, but we're doing one step at a time. So, I don't need the sprite, and I don't need the name either, I only need the ID. And so if the ID works, then I'm going to set IDs to be the current IDs, and then I want to append it. And if I want to append something to an array, I think I don't want to use add. I want to use concat, I think. Because I don't want to use push either, because that'll be a whole thing. Because that returns a new length. Yeah, so I don't want to return a new length. I want to do concat in JavaScript. All the Pokemon are cake. Okay, yes, and concat returns a new array. That's what I want to use. Great. Okay, so I'm going to do ids.concat, and then I'm going to concat the... I see you! You're not sneaky.
I'm trying to get to my seat.
Oh my gosh. That. And then I'm not going to set an error for now. I'll just do console.log error like that. For now. Just because I want to get this this part done. Okay. Now that we have done that and we've queried things, I want to do it a little map where for each ID, for each set of the IDs in there, I'm going to do IDs.map, and then in here, I'm going to return the Pokenum with each of the IDs. Pokenum, or the Pokemon sprite with a given ID with a given ID. I think that should work. We will find out. Let's see. You know, if it doesn't, we'll figure it out. And then, oh, but I have to do it for each value in the Pokemon array. I have to do it for each value in the Pokemon array. And I don't want to, you know what, maybe an effect isn't the right way to do this. I should just do this in a function. Because an effect would be something where I want to just query it when something exists. I could query it, instead of passing an array here, I could think it out with me, and if you have different thoughts of how we could do this, feel free to let me know. What I could do is make it so that way it just queries the API every single time something is submitted, and then when that's submitted, it adds the ID to the array, and so I don't do it inside of the Pokemon banner. I could do it inside of game, or inside of a separate thing. That might work. Thanks for following, fam. I kind of like that idea. It has to be something that happens async. Maybe I'll do like a use API hook. You could do a function use Poke API, and then it passes in a Pokemon, and then that'll do the use effect. I think that's a smarter way to do it. And then when we pass the Pokemon array, it's just going to go from the Poke array. Poke array. There. I think that's a better option. For now, we'll find out if I'm wrong. Okay, so we have the use Pokemon API, we pass that, we get the IDs. The IDs can be, should that be a state variable inside of Poke API? It could, maybe. That was so loud, Joe. I'm still like recovering from that.
What?
Nothing.
What was loud?
Shut up. You're very funny.
Penguin attack.
Stop it! Okay. Stupid. Yeah, I'm a very professional streamer, everybody. Okay, that error is for a reason. That's because I don't have the IDs passed in. The IDs should be passed in. I could make a state variable inside of the game, and that, yeah, I could do that here. So I could do it in the game reducer, and I could have a guest Pokemon, and that'll be an array. We'll save that here. Oh, look at that! No errors now, huh? Okay, so then once we've submitted the Pokemon, that's when we're going to pass in, that's when we want to update our guest Pokemon array. This is JavaScript. For those who asked what language this is. Sorry about all the scrolling back and forth. Let me compress some of these so that way we can look at each individual game state. Inside the started game state, we have the Pokemon banner. That's going to pass in PokeR, which is the guest game, or guest Pokemon value. And that guest Pokemon value has to be pulled out of the state here. Okay, great. Cool. Now that we have done that, what we want to do is we want to update guest Pokemon if it's correct. So if Pokemon array includes action.pokemon, that's when we want to trigger the effect that we're following. I'm so happy I followed you on Twitter like 20 years ago. That doesn't seem possible, but yay. And sure enough, it's me, but live. Wow. Well, thank you for following for so long. I appreciate it. A time machine. That's amazing. Okay, so when the Pokemon array includes action Pokemon, we want to increase the score and we want to add it to the guest Pokemon thing. And then once we've updated that guest Pokemon thing, we want to trigger the use Poke API. And when we trigger that used Poke API, that's when we're going to update that array again. So when we update that array, we want to update guest Pokemon. That is going to be, I'm going to do that in its own state change. And I'm going to be like obtained ID. How about obtained ID? And when that happens, we're going to return the existing state, but the guest Pokemon will be the new array that we have passed in. And that new array, actually it doesn't have to be a new array, it can just add it to the existing one. We're moving logic around. You're following my Twitter alt account? That isn't even mine. That was the sister who trolled. She took over my Discord because of all of the verified people being blocked from tweeting yesterday, and she created this alter ego of me named Fred, and then like my Discord took it and ran with it. But yes, you can use JavaScript for things other than web pages to answer that question there. Okay, so when we've hit the obtained ID state, that means we want to update the guest Pokemon thing. I'm just going to make it empty for now. Give you Bitcoin. I can't give you Bitcoin if I don't have any. I should I get Bitcoin? I don't know. So when current Pokemon changes, that's when we should trigger the effect. And when we trigger that effect with current Pokemon, let's see, my Discord where? That is on my Patreon, patreon.com/Cassadoo. Let's see, we want the current Pokemon to be, let's see, actually I could do guest Pokemon. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of thinking out loud that isn't fully logical. Thinking is harder when you're talking about it live. What's good about Discord? Discord is great. It's just a great place for community. My Patreon Discord is by far my favorite corner of the internet. I absolutely love it. We just kind of gab about nerdy things, and everyone is funny and cool. And there's people from all over the world in there too. Okay. So, when we submit the Pokemon, we submit it here with that. The guest Pokemon is just a state for what's happening inside, or not guest Pokemon. The Pokemon that we pass into this onChange is what is updating this typed Pokemon stuff. So when current Pokemon, I think I need a submitted Pokemon. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of big brain things that I'm trying to think of. You'll never be able to get over that JSX. You gotta get over it, fam. The world uses it. I know you're sad about it, but you just gotta get over JSX in the JavaScript because it happens. It's needed. It's something you gotta get used to. Okay. It's about the file ending. Again, people have been getting rid of the X and JSX files for a while now. It's how it is now. I'm sorry that you're sad, but I also can't help you. Am I familiar with using Netlify? Indeed I am, because I work there. Anyway, use TypeScript? No thank you. Sorry, I'm trying to think how I want to do this because I don't want to use current Pokemon necessarily, but I want to use the I guess. Sorry. I haven't used recoil, no. Nobody here is stupid. How much time have we got today? We've got another like half hour or so. 45 minutes if I'm willing to rush to my next thing. So sorry, I'm trying to think about how I want to pass in the current Pokemon to the API, because I don't want to pass in just as I'm typing, because if it's incorrect, then that's making unnecessary API calls. And so I want to make sure that we are getting just the most recently submitted Pokemon. I could just have a state value for that. I could have most recently submitted. I don't like that we're adding so many state variables, so that's why I'm kind of hesitant about it. But I could get the most recently submitted Pokemon, pass that in, and then have that be the thing that is being used. Most recently submitted. I think that's what I gotta do. I haven't, because I haven't actually made anything that uses the Pokemon names yet. I think that's what I have to do. You got here not too long ago. What is the program for? It's a Pokemon guessing game. And right now there are errors, so I can't play it. But basically, you start the game, you type a Pokemon name. If it is something that is from the first 151, you get a point. If it's something like if you type in Cassidy, you get a negative point. So that is the game so far. It is very, very basic. Could I just do it on submit? I could do an on submit thing. I just want it to happen async so that way it doesn't like mess with rendering and stuff. So when I call the submit Pokemon, there has to be something that this listens for, or that this stays in sync with. And so if I do the most recently submitted Pokemon, then what I can do is say if this Pokemon array dot includes this, I could have most recently submitted, the most recently submitted include that. Yeah. And so actually what I could do is have just two return statements. And so inside of here I could do that this is the new score +1, and then most recently submitted is whatever the action.pokemon is. Like that. Otherwise, most recently submitted, I could just have it be 0 or null or something. And put that in here, and I'll take this out. And then, yeah, I'll just do null. That works. I could make a variable for that, but I'm just gonna do this right now. Did I increase the font size? Oh, yeah, I just increased the font size. I think it's size 24 or something. This is also on my big monitor, and so the window can expand more, so I just kind of have it compressed. I could have it much, much bigger, but I tried to put it in here so you can see what's happening. Where do I get materials and keys to build my own mechanical keyboards? I'm not going to get fully into that, but drop.com, Key.io, KBD fans, the key company, Novel Keys, they have a bunch of great parts. Why do I use JavaScript instead of TypeScript? Because I think TypeScript is overkill for a project like this. TypeScript is really great for like larger projects that need type checking, but a lot of smaller projects just, it's not necessary, so I don't use it. Let's see. Okay, so because we have most recently submitted now I can have most recently submitted be the current Pokemon. So if I put use Poke API and have most recently submitted be that, and then I'll also have guest Pokemon passed in as well, then don't yell at me yet. It's just mad. So now inside of here, I'll get the most recently used Pokemon, most recently submitted is what I'll use there. And then we'll have the guest Pokemon. And the guest Pokemon is that array. And actually, I don't need to pass in guest Pokemon, I need to pass in dispatch, so that way I can dispatch a Poke API state, maybe? Actually, I don't think I need to. Oh, I want to do the obtained ID so that way I can populate it. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to do dispatch in here, and then I'm going to have dispatch, if I can ever type again. Dispatch in there is going to be, oh, I totally messed this up. Let me just copy this for a second. Dispatch is going to be type obtained ID, and then it'll pass in ID is that. I think that should work. Oh, and I don't even need that anymore. I just need new ID. Yeah, that's cool. And actually, I don't even need new ID anymore. I can just do res.id. Like that. Great. Okay. There are a lot of questions while I was typing. Let me see. Looks like Redux. It's not Redux, it's useReducer. This keyboard sounds comfortable. It is. How do I like the fail early coding style? I kind of like it. It depends on what I'm working on. Do I feel more motivated to code when I have viewers like now? Not really. If anything, I think I code more when there's not as many people, but that's fine. Can I do a quick typing sound test of some of my keyboards? I kind of did some of that earlier, but here's my quiet keyboard. Nice and quiet. My husband Joe is typing loudly on his, but I don't know if you can hear it. This has box white switches. And you know, I'm not gonna reach for some of the others because my arm doesn't go that far, but you got a clicky and you got a quiet. And I said use reducer. Use reducer. That's this hook right there. Use reducer is a hook for using reducers in your code. I'm not going to get too super into that right now, but I did in previous videos if you'd like to check those out. Can't you array of Pokemon names and not just be sorted by the ID and you could use the index by the ID? No, because of Pokemon like Mr. Mime and others, because I do have this array, which again, I might get rid of this array entirely later, but like for Farfetch'd, I have 2 of them, and then for Mr. Mime, I have 3 of them because of all the different ways that you can format it. So that is why. If I wanted to do a coding stream, what's the best strat for hiding secrets and tokens to viewers? I assume you could have a screen like this, and then you could just do stuff behind that screen and then come back. I've seen a lot of people where they're just like, secrets are happening behind the screen, and then they come back after that. TypeScript, yeah or nay? Personally, nay, but eh. useReducer is a JavaScript library. It's a hook inside of React. Why do I want to keep the alternative spellings? I don't have to, but I feel like there's so many ways to type it. It would be much easier if I didn't do that. You're right. But we're calling an API this time, so YOLO. Having 2 screens also helps a lot. That's true. I have my screen right here is just the chat right now. Let's see. What is my favorite Pokemon? It's hard to say. I keep kind of changing my mind. It's probably going to be a water type, though, that can fly. I feel like that's just practical. Golang, yay or nay? I have only used it a little bit, so it's hard for me to say. A hook inside of React, a hook is a React function. And so the 2 hooks that I have are useReducer and useEffect imported right here. Didn't Sarah make a Chrome thing to hide info? May have been just for Netlify. If she did, I don't know about it. Okay, back to this. We've got the obtained ID. We're getting the res.id inside of this effect. Now inside of here, with the obtained ID, we're going to have guest Pokemon is now going to equal guest Pokemon.concat, and then it's going to have that new ID that we passed in. Action.id. Like that. I'm pretty sure that should work. If it doesn't, then oh well, we'll figure it out. Also, my like mini map is kind of messing with stuff. I don't know, I don't want to hide it right now because that'll actually, yes I can. Because I don't like how it's cutting off my line endings. Mini map. Disable, okay. There we go. Now we can see those line endings. So, theoretically, this might work. If it doesn't, let's see. Why are you mad at me? Oh. Most recently submitted is not defined. Oh, I didn't pull it out of state. That's my problem. Current Pokemon, guest Pokemon. I want to have it in the same order. Here, just to keep it a little clean. Cute. Okay. Great, let's see. What's your streaming application? What theme do I have in VS Code? Hack the Box in VS Code. I'm using Streamlabs. How are ya? I'm doing well. Is my husband using clicky switches? Yes, he is. Stop it. You're right about state dot right here. Thank you for pointing that out. Hi from Denmark. Hello. So, you're right. Current Pokemon and most recently submitted Pokemon are not intuitive, and so that's what I'm trying to. I need to better my variable names. That's because of the type Pokemon. I talked about this 2 or 3 streams ago. Current Pokemon is what powers the actual input box because it's a controlled component, and then the other Pokemon variables have to do with what is done with that input after submitting. So it's not an intuitive name. Instead of current Pokemon, it should be like currently typed Pokemon or something. Naming things is one of the hardest problems in computer science. Okay, if this works, it'll be a miracle. I'm kind of just hoping we get something. Charmander. Oh my gosh. Ditto. Alakazam. Oh dang, fam. It is working. I am super pumped. Okay. So, now that we've got that going, we gotta style it. Oh, yay! Okay, so now all the Pokemon that we will be typing out will be in order. I don't like that it's on a new line every time. I think it'd be nice if it was something else. Whew, I am pleased. Okay, I'll do another style JSX for this. I'm going to do, actually, I could just do display inline block. I think that'll do it. Yeah, look at that. That gets the job done. I almost want to make like the container on the outside, because then it's just going to stretch the width of the screen. So maybe I'll do another style right here. And then style JSX. Do it inside of that. Woohoo! Woohoo! I should also, you're right, I should also test if it doesn't work, because right now I'm just savoring the fact that it does work. I'm gonna do class name equals sprite container. Sprite container. All of that silent thinking paid off. Sprite container. And then inside of there, I'm going to do, I'll just do a max width. Do I have a max width on this input actually? How wide is this input? I don't. Okay, but it's 300. I think it can be, I think that's fine at 300. I'll do a maximum of 500. How about 5 of these? So if they're 64 by 64, then I'll do, I have a calculator. So if I want to do 64 times 5, but I want to add some padding, that's 320. And then I want to add padding in between for each. And so I'll do 370, I'll do 400. Style JSX, this Style JSX, it's not magic, it's just a library called Styled JSX, and it's built into Next.js. Did I write the score? I have it when I click done, then it shows the score. That was a debate where we weren't sure if the score should show at the end or at the beginning, but now that we have sprites showing up, it almost doesn't make sense. Thoughts, anyone? I'm gonna have the max width of 400 pixels, and then I'll do a padding. The padding is kind of built into the sprites. Like if you look at the sprite sheet, let me pull up the sprite sheet. It's in here. They already kind of have a lot of padding around them, so I might not actually need any padding at all. Do I just have a calculator there? Yes, I do. You never know when you'll need a calculator. Let's see. What do I think about test-driven development? I love it for back-end programming. Whenever I do back-end stuff, I love test-driven development. For front-end, it's kind of harder to do just because it's not as black and white in a lot of cases, so I don't do it as much with front-end development. Let's see. Yes, I do. Cool. Sorry, I'm getting... Oh, my sister was DMing me all kinds of logistics of them driving over. Okay, now that that part works, I think I'm gonna end like in the next 5-10 minutes just because I got work to do and I'm sure you all too do as well. But chat, what do you recommend to support learning? I'm currently learning Python. I found Hoonid to keep track of order of things I've got to learn. Could you help? Oh, you pasted it. To support learning? I'm not sure what you mean by supporting your learning. Like more resources to learn? Let us know. Yeah, what are you using currently? Like what do you mean by support, I guess? Okay, thanks for following. Okay. So now, if I were to play this game, I'm just going to play Bulbasaur, Venusaur. Oh, it's slower. Did I break something? Oh, did I just spell it wrong? That's a good thing. I'm gonna end. My score is 0. I spelled it wrong. Okay, so being wrong works. That's good. Maybe I could have something show up like if it's null, then I could have it just be like an X or something. That could be kind of funny. When I started learning, I didn't know the way to go, so I found that tracker thing. Are there more tools to make learning easier like that, like checklists and stuff? Not really, unfortunately. I think there's this one repo I like of front-end developer interview questions. And this is for front-end stuff. But what I like about it is it's a very, very thorough list. I feel like a list of interview questions is a good checklist of what you might want to know, and I'll paste that in there. Can you post a link there? I don't know how to enable individual link pasting. I'm sorry. Also, I've mentioned it before, but Scrimba. I teach on Scrimba, and they have a career path where it goes through like a full program where it talks about building your first web app, HTML and CSS, intro to the DOM, and it keeps growing. There's many hours of lessons on here. A few people who are in the chat here teach as well. Like I know Tom Zors is a teacher on there. That's him learning Git. So anyway, finding courses I think is a good checklist for figuring out that sort of thing. What headphones am I wearing right now? I'm wearing Hi-Fi Man's from Drop. I can paste a link because I feel like I'm always pasting a link. Hi-Fi Man. These ones. These are the ones that I'm wearing. That. There's a Streamlabs chat box. I can use a command to allow a user to post a link. I'm not going to tweak with my settings now because I don't want to break things, but I can try it for next time. But yeah, and they're open ear, so a little someone can't sneak up on me. That's you. So anyway, if I were to do Ivysaur, would that work? Yeah, it does. Oh heck, I'm so happy. Okay. Oh, I wanted to type a bunch to make sure that my width is right. I thought I spelled Venusaur wrong. Is it Venusaur? Yeah, it is. Okay, got it. Charmander. Charizard. Squirtle. Nice. Okay, so we've got our new layers right now too. Heck. Squirtle evolves into Wartortle. Wartortle. Did I spell it wrong? Oh, crap. I don't know how to spell Wartortle. I thought... Oh, is it Wartortle? Yeah, it is. And Blastoise. This is fun. Okay, cool. So we've got sprites going, we've got multiple layers going, and then I don't have it so you have to do it in order, so I could do Pidgey or whatever, and I don't know. Ditto. Oh, look at that. Oh, so it does do a blank one. So it does a blank one when it doesn't work. That's good to know. So I can replace that blank thing with something that is more like real, an X or mistake or something, kind of like Hangman or something. So that's good. That works. Okay. So now that I have that done, I think that's what I wanted to get done with today, and so I'm going to deploy it. Git status, add components, make sprite scoring work. I'll just call it that. And so, if you would like to play with it, what I've been doing is I've been keeping track of this in a Git repo just called typing game. It should probably be called something more specific, but there you go. It's called typing game. I'll paste it in the chat. And we have this building indicator on Netlify, so right now it's deploying slowly but surely. And then once the building thing is done, then we'll be able to actually look at it all deployed. And actually, what's the URL for this site? Did I name it? You're just gonna watch me log into Netlify and see all of my projects going. Okay, typing game. Oh, I call it typing game stream. Okay. And so I'm gonna add that to my repo now. In the about. Pokemon guessing game. I'm just gonna get rid of some of these for now. Cool. So now you'll be able to see the live site if you wanted to when it's done building. So that's good. What platform do I teach front-end courses on again? Scrimba. I have taught on other things, like I have an HTML and CSS class on Skillshare. So if you did want to do a really basic HTML and CSS, you can do that. Oh dang, I don't remember my password for this. Did I just use Facebook? We'll find out. Oh, look at that. I did, thank goodness. Okay. Anyway, courses I'm teaching. That. I will send it to you. This link. Ah, okay. This thing. Because if you use my referral link, then you can get it for free, because you don't have to pay for that. Anyway. I have a basic HTML and CSS class if you would like to start very much from the ground up with that one. And I do have a Udemy class too, but it's kind of old now. JS and React for devs. Oop, not for dev, for devs. If that page loads, I'll paste a link to that one too. That's an older React class. A lot of the information is still relevant, but it's for React 15, and so it's out of date now. But it is something that you can use. Is that not what it is anymore? That's what it was. I have to fix some links if so. Excuse me while I Google myself. Cassidy Williams, Udemy, that. Oh, I had to do /course. There we go. So anyway, those are my other courses, but the Udemy one is, again, not fully up to date. And is this one almost done building? Oh, success! Hey! So now our game is live on Netlify and you can play with it. Bulbasaur. Look at that! Ditto. And then, oh wait, submit it. I'm done. I got a score of 2. Woohoo! Am I going to get emotes and stuff when I hit Twitch affiliate? I don't know. Again, I'm not exactly doing this to be fancy. I just think it's fun to show people how to code things. But no, I'm not actually already affiliate, Kimberly. I'm working on it, I guess. I think you have to stream 7 times a month to hit that, and this is my 2nd or 3rd time this month, so maybe if I do start streaming Fortnite, that'll count for something. But yeah, anyway, we have the typing game stream. I'm going to paste the link in the chat too, if you would like to check it out. Can my husband showcase his key before I leave? His is very connected with like multiple cables, so I'm gonna say no. But he doesn't have a particularly fancy one. It's a blue switchboard DOS keyboard. I'm going to hit partner at this rate. We'll see. I don't know. But anyway, you can check out the site that we're building, and I'm basically planning on just working on this and generally chatting with people when I stream, and then we'll make something new after that. And I know people enjoyed having the React core team on the stream whenever that was. Thanks for following. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whenever that was. So I was thinking about having other people join the stream as well. Do I do backend too? I can, but I choose not to because I don't want to. Can Joe get music requests for the next stream? He does have good skills. Joe and I both play instruments, but he actually majored in piano performance before going into software engineering. Do I always stream on Thursdays? I'm trying to come up with a good schedule. Thursday seems to be the most loved option, and so that's why I'm generally sticking with it. But, Joe, people want you to stream.
Okay.
They like your piano skills or your instrument skills. So
I'll play background music for your streams.
Cool, from now on?
Yeah.
Great. I'll pay you in food.
I cook everything.
I know. Are we Christians? We are. We can talk about that off stream, because I don't know if people want to hear that. What mic am I using? I'm using a Blue Yeti microphone. And headphones, I posted the link already. They're Hi-Fi Man's. Team Joel. His name's Joe, not Joel. Stream Dota? No. He could stream Dota. He plays a lot of Dota. It is a lot. You'd like to see my setup? It is a mess right now. But I've got 2 monitors in front of me. This camera is the Sony a6100. I also have a backup webcam, which that was the backup. You got a little taste of that. And then I've got my Mac on the side for when I connect to my work computer, and lots of keyboards. That's my setup. Yeah. It was very fun chatting. If there's any other, maybe later update my Twitch page. Yeah, I gotta be more legit, I guess. Were I using the Real Force today? Yes. I was using Real Force R2 with the silenced switches, so it's not too loud. From Argentina, from Brazil? Wow. Any material to learn UI UX for a backend developer? No, but I've been asked for that a lot. Do I need some mods? I already have some mods. They're just very quiet. But Tom, Zors, and Jonesy, thanks for doing things. Thanks all for the tips. Yeah, I'll populate it. I mostly just say, go to my Twitter. That's my name. You can find out generally things from there. I make jokes. Any funny new Twitter vids? None made yet, but I'll come up with some. I'll probably make a new one soon. Cool. All right, fam. Well, it was very fun chatting with you. I really appreciate your hanging out. If you have any questions, feel free to tweet me, and I'll probably see you here next week. Again, if you'd like to chat, my handle is Cassadoo on most things. So here's my Twitter. Here's my I almost did github.com/Twitter. Ha ha ha. Here's my GitHub. And if you'd like to chat on Discord a bunch, my Patreon, and that's where you can get the Discord access there. Cool. I hope you all have a great one. It was fun chatting, and until next time, be nice to each other. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. 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 Bye.